So today we're going to be talking about how well I think the current featherweight champion Ilia Topuria would do against the current top 5 UFC lightweight. So let me get shrank down to size. Here we go, starting off the list in at number 5, Max Holloway. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about this. We have literally just seen this fight at UFC 308. Obviously it was in the featherweight division. I don't think the outcome would be different in the lightweight division. I actually think Max Holloway definitely could beat Ilia Topuria, and he showed that in the fight against Ilia Topuria. He got caught in there with a big shot. Ilia Topuria is a big puncher. I do think Max Holloway can beat Ilia Topuria, but we've literally just seen him be knocked out by Ilia Topuria, so I'm not going to waste too much time talking about Max Holloway Topuria at lightweight. Next up, we have got Dustin Poirier. What a matchup this would be. Dustin Poirier, Ilia Topuria at lightweight, two of the best boxers in the UFC. This would be a really fun one to see. Now, Dustin Poirier is a southpaw. He's very heavy-handed as well, and I think you need to be very heavy-handed when you're in there with Ilia Topuria, because I know he's looked great against Volkanovski and Max Holloway, and essentially everybody's facing the UFC, but he doesn't look invincible. He is there to be hit, and against some of these guys in the lightweight division that do carry a lot of power, that are cutting massive amounts of weight to make the lightweight division, Dustin Poirier is one of those guys. He's heavy. He's very heavy-handed in both left and right. He can fight out of either stance as well. He's also a great boxer. And he's good at picking his shots as well, especially even when Dustin Poirier is coming under fire against the cage, which is where a lot of the time opponents end up. Just based on Ilia Topuria's movement and his footwork, he is able to circle you out and back you up against the cage. We've seen it done to countless opponents, Volkanovski, Max Holloway, etc. But when Poirier is backed up against the cage, we've seen it against Michael Chandler. Yes, he does get cracked. Poirier's striking defense isn't amazing. He's also there to be hit, and we've seen Dustin Poirier get chinned before, but like we've seen when he was in there against Michael Chandler, he is still dangerous when he's pinned up against the wall and he lets his hands go. And we've seen, even similar to the Benoit St. Denis fight, all it takes is one shot from Dustin Poirier to change the fight around. Now, with that being said, I think Dustin Poirier's striking defense will really let him down in this fight. I don't think Poirier will be able to beat Ilia Topuria. Well, he has the power to, but I don't think he would, if I'm making any sense here. I think Topuria is the better boxer, the more precise boxer, picks his shots better as well, the body work as well, the way Topuria is able to go low, high, low, high, low, high. I think he would chin Dustin Poirier, to be honest. Next up, Justin Gaethje. What a fight this would be. Now, Justin Gaethje is very, very heavy-handed and throws some really unorthodox strikes in there. Plus the leg kicks as well. I think that will be an issue for Dustin Poirier defending the calf kick of Ilia Topuria. We've seen him use it very well against Max Holloway in their last fight. Justin Gaethje, though, he will kick at the leg of Ilia Topuria. The shot selection where he bob and weave, bob and weave, bob and weave. Like I said, you need to be a guy with power when you're going in there with Ilia Topuria, because you have to earn the guy's respect. That's why Josh Emmett done so much better. I mean, I know he got the shit kicked out of him, but he didn't get stopped. That's why he done so much better against Topuria, in my opinion, than what Holloway and Volkanovski did. That's why he was able to go the whole 25 minutes with him, because Ilia Topuria was fearful of what was coming back to him. Volkanovski's not a big puncher, and I know a lot of people think Max Holloway is now after knocking out the Korean Zombie and Justin Gaethje. He's also not a big puncher. Gaethje, on the other hand, he is a big puncher. Now, we've seen him in there with Max Holloway, and we've seen Max Holloway outbox and beat up Justin Gaethje. In my opinion, Topuria is a better boxer than what Max Holloway is. I just don't see Gaethje being able to beat him, to be honest. I think Gaethje, similar to Poirier, his striking defense isn't great. He always overcommits on his shots, overextends, leaves himself off balance. I think Ilia Topuria would chin Justin Gaethje. I think he'd knock out Gaethje inside 2 rounds, to be honest. Gaethje is very tough and durable. He isn't the most chinniest of fighters, but we've seen him crack before. And it's the low high of Ilia Topuria, which I think a lot of guys in this division, a lot of guys in the UFC will really struggle with Topuria's striking, because He doesn't just headhunt, he mixes them up, and he mixes them up really, really well. And the tempo of his shots as well. I think Topuria would knock out Justin Gaethje, to be honest. Topuria's 3 for 3 so far. Next up, we have got Charles Oliveira. Now, I seen a post talking about this fight saying Prime Charles versus Ilia Topuria, who would win. Topuria beats Oliveira. Now, Oliveira can crack, which is going to help him. Also, with Charles Oliveira, he puts you on the back foot. That's his style. He's aggressive. And we see when Max Holloway, in particular, had Ilia Topuria on the back foot, he was less effective. Now, can Charles Oliveira keep Ilia Topuria constantly on the back foot? I don't think so. I think Ilia Topuria would be able to make the reads on Oliveira. And again, Charles Oliveira, we've seen him get cracked. We've seen him get hurt. We've seen a lot of guys crack and hurt Oliveira, but refuse to go to the ground with him because they know how dangerous he is. That won't be the case with Topuria. He will jump on Charles Oliveira, pause, and look for the finish. He will be aggressive in there. When he cracks Oliveira, which it's not if, it's when he cracks Oliveira, because Oliveira is very easily hit at times in his fights. He will follow him up to the ground. He will look to finish it. Ilia Topuria would also KO Charles Oliveira. Arman Tsarukyan, this is a difficult one. Arman Tsarukyan is a very, very high level grappler, but so is Ilia Topuria. I don't think a lot of people really understand that when Topuria got into MMA, he was known for as a grappler, not a boxer, a grappler. Now, Arman Tsarukyan, I'm just going to be honest, isn't at the level on the feet as what Ilia Topuria is. And I feel like, and we'll talk about this when it comes to the Islam fight as well, you know, a lot of these high-level grapplers have a lot of success on the feet against these high-level strikers because they're so worried about the grappling exchanges and going to the ground. Ilia Topuria won't be fearful of that. You know, he won't fight in timid against Arman because he's worried about the scrambles of the wrestling. Ilia Topuria might even welcome that because, again, that's where he started off with the grappling. I think Arman Tsarukyan is there to be hit. I think Ilia Topuria stops Arman Tsarukyan as well. And I'm being honest. I'm picking all these fights over 25 minutes as well, by the way. Not 3 rounds. Ilia Topuria is currently 4 for 4 right now out of the lightweights. And finally, the fight that everybody will want to see now, Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. Don't know why I was about to say Arman Tsarukyan. This right here is so interesting because we have seen Islam Makhachev be chinned before. Now, Islam Makhachev is going to be massive in there to Ilia Topuria, I'm just going to be honest. And the style of grappling that Islam Makhachev has, I know Arman Tsarukyan was able to have a load of success against Islam Makhachev in the grappling, but it's very different. I'm not really explaining that well, am I? By just saying it's very different, but the way the Dagestanis grapple, it is very different. It's very unique. Their control, their weight distribution when they take it to the mat. Now, Islam Makhachev, is he at the same level of boxing as Ilia Topuria? No, he isn't, in my opinion. But Islam Makhachev is a very well-refined striker now that's added kicking into his game. He is a very good striker. I think it would come down to the grappling exchanges in this matchup because I don't think Islam Makhachev would choose to stand on the feet with Ilia Topuria because, yes, we've seen Islam knock out a few guys here, and I'm not saying he's not powerful, but he's not the hardest hitter out of these guys on this list. I think it would come down to the grappling. I'm more confident in Islam Makhachev's grappling than I am in Ilia Topuria's. And does Topuria's second name, end in an EV? Does he have Khabib in his corner? These are genuine things that are happening in the UFC. Now, when you see those guys with EV or Khabib in their corner, pick them to win. I think it would come down to the grappling. I think Islam, from what I've seen, is the better grappler. I think there will be a lot of grappling exchanges in there. I think Islam Makhachev would beat Ilia Topuria. But it's close. It is close. Ilia is that good. But let me know your opinions in the comments below. Who do you think would stop Ilia out in the top 5 of the lightweight division? And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again in the next one.